The first testimony is from a brother named John Blake from Denver, Colorado. He was a teacher that suffered a skiing accident that left him dealing with various medical conditions. Both his kneecaps ruptured, leading him to need a special surgery. But the surgery was not a success. He had to stay home during the recovery process, struggling a lot with depression and anxiety because he feared his life would never be the same due to all the knee problems he was having. One morning, he passed out and had to be taken to the hospital. There, he had an out-of-body experience. His soul left his body and went down to the depths of hell. As he arrived in that awful place, he began to hear the cries of people that were being tormented. Then he actually saw people being tormented by demons. It was far worse than anything John could have imagined. And one thing John noticed was that hell was very big and vast and had different sections. The ground John walked on was sharp and uneven, made of burning coals and jagged rocks that cut into his feet. But John was not able to stop moving. He kept on walking, looking up above and noticing the sky was red. Then he saw souls being tormented in different ways by the demons down there. Some people were engulfed in flames that never consumed them but caused them agonizing pain. Some people were chained to burning pillars, with their bodies full of painful blisters. That place was incredibly hot, and the atmosphere felt oppressive. John also noticed how proud the demons were to be causing so much pain to the human souls. They took great pleasure in tormenting them. John saw a group of people being forced to carry some heavy, burning chains, staggering in pain because those chains were very heavy. Some people were being crushed by ugly creatures with their razor-sharp feet. Some people were being submerged in a boiling lake of fire, and their screams were clearly heard during their torment. Other people were trapped inside cages, and John saw how their bodies were twisted in an unnatural position, to the point where they could not move or find relief. As John kept moving to a different section of hell, he saw many clear faces, and each face reminded him of someone, but then he would forget who it was instantly. The memories would disappear within moments, but there was one person that John was able to recognize and remember without any problems. It was the actor Chadwick Boseman. He had been the main character in the movie Black Panther. John could not believe this famous actor ended up in this horrible place, where he would have to endure horrific suffering non-stop. The actor Chadwick Boseman had inner flames that came out of him, but these flames did not consume his body like they would have here on Earth. The flames prompted sharp screams of gut-wrenching pain from the poor man. His agony seemed endless. Then John heard a powerful voice that spoke over the entire place. The voice shouted, "You thought your fame and success meant anything, but you never accepted the few creatures that came to you for salvation, and now you will suffer for eternity." John could only stand there, paralyzed by what he was witnessing. Hell was worse than anything he could have ever imagined. He had no idea the level of suffering souls endured in that place. Eventually, John kept walking. He began to see thousands of faces again. All the faces kept flipping like pages in a book. Then, John was able to recognize one face. It was the famous actor Paul Walker from the movie The Fast and the Furious. The famous movie about car racing that inspired many sequels with Vin Diesel. John was filled with great sorrow upon seeing Paul Walker in hell. The actor was bound by thick burning chains that were tightly wrapped around his body. The hot chains seared his flesh. John could see Paul's face, which was twisted in agony. He was struggling a lot due to the chain's high heat. The heat seemed to penetrate his bones. Paul seemed to be in a constant state of pain. Then John heard the powerful voice return and say the following: "You lived your life in the fast lane, but you never stopped to accept Jesus. Now you will suffer for eternity." After that, a demon suddenly popped out of the cage and looked at the suffering actor, telling him, "You thought your fame and fortune could save you." The demon kept repeating that phrase over and over again. "You thought your fame and fortune could save you." The demon was mocking the actor. The regret in Paul's eyes was great. Then John saw in horror as the demons forced Paul to relive his final moments over and over again. Paul began to scream loudly as the fire consumed him. But no matter how much he screamed, the torment would not stop. The cage actually kept on resetting the torture, so that Paul was in an endless cycle of pain and suffering. Then John heard the demons say to Paul, "There is no escape. This is your eternity. Now, no salvation, no mercy, only torment." And now I want to share with you another testimony from a brother named Gabriel Peter Mizrahi. Brother Gabriel obtained this vision one day when he was praying. In the vision, Gabriel saw a woman sitting on a chair. Now, at first, he could not see her face because it was covered. He just saw her shoulders going up and down as if she was crying. Brother Gabriel approached her only to be shocked by what he saw. He saw holes that had been drilled into her body. He could not believe this. He asked himself, what kind of torment is this? How can a person go through such a horrific thing? The holes in her body were very big. He sensed that something powerful had ripped off her flesh and made those holes. Perhaps it had been some infernal beast that had found the woman there in hell. He did not know who this woman was at first, but eventually the Lord showed him that it was Princess Diana, and that revelation made Gabriel very sad. Princess Diana looked so pitiful. It hurt his heart to see her in such a condition, being horribly tormented in hell in such a way. Then Gabriel asked the Lord why Princess Diana ended up in hell. Brother Gabriel was born in the year 2000, so he did not know much about Princess Diana. She had passed away before Gabriel had been born, but as Gabriel became older, he was able to learn a little bit about Princess Diana and her two sons, Prince Harry and Prince William. Gabriel said that Princess Diana looked overwhelmed and tired and weak. He kept looking at her as she sat on the chair, examining the large holes in her body, wondering how a person could still be alive having such large open holes like that all over her body. She was suffering so much. It was truly heartbreaking because she would never escape this place. It was forever, an eternity of torment. Eventually, Gabriel's vision came to an end. Then the Lord told Gabriel to share his revelation on his Facebook profile to warn others about hell. Gabriel was not sure why Princess Diana ended up in hell. He didn't know much about the life that she had lived while she was here on earth, but he suspected that Princess Diana had been in worldliness. He didn't think she had been saved or that she had taken Jesus very seriously while she had been alive.